The facade of weakness. The Galactic Council chamber sparkled with the bioluminescent lighting favored by the senior members. Captain Ilara Vega adjusted her simple gray uniform as she waited patiently at Earth's designated position, a small platform near the back of the massive amphitheater, intentionally placed far from the central speaking dais. For 73 years, humanity had maintained this humble position without complaint. "The human representative wishes to speak," announced the Council's AI translator, its tone carrying the subtle inflection of surprise that most Council members felt whenever a human requested attention. High Chancellor Zorax of the Mariox Imperium turned his massive, armored body toward Ilara. The Mariox were the undisputed military power of the known galaxy, bipedal beings with exoskeletons that naturally produced metallic compounds, giving them the appearance of living battleships. Standing at nearly 3 meters tall, Zorax's body plates glimmered with ceremonial engravings denoting his countless military victories. "The Council recognizes Earth," Zorax announced, his voice resonating through the chamber with barely disguised condescension. "Though we remind the human representative that matters of military expansion fall outside their expertise." Ilara stepped forward, her movements measured and respectful. At 45, she had spent half her life representing Earth in these chambers, maintaining the carefully crafted image of humanity as a technologically capable but militarily insignificant species. "Honored Council," she began, her voice clear despite its artificial amplification to reach the furthest corners of the chamber. "Earth respectfully expresses concern regarding the recent military deployment to the Lyra sector. The indigenous Novan population has not consented to Mariox's presence in their system." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Novans were a pre-FTL civilization, only just beginning to explore their own solar system. By Council law, such species were to be left undisturbed until they achieved interstellar travel on their own, a law that the powerful regularly circumvented through various exceptional circumstances clauses. Chancellor Zorax flexed his massive arm plates, producing a metallic sound that silenced the chamber. "The Mariox Imperium has determined that significant quantum-fold mineral deposits on Novan 3 constitute a galactic security interest. The primitives will be relocated to Novan 1 and 2, with minimal disruption to their development." Ilara maintained her diplomatic expression, though internally she flinched at the casual dismissal of an entire civilization's homeworld. "Earth reminds the Council that relocation of pre-FTL species has historically resulted in cultural collapse and population decline of over 70%. We propose an alternative mining approach that would." "The humans propose technologies they themselves cannot implement," interrupted Grel Varnak, the Mariox military attaché. His laughter echoed through the chamber, joined by several other Council species. "Perhaps Earth would like to demonstrate these supposed mining techniques with their limited drives and primitive extraction capabilities." Ilara bowed slightly. "We merely suggest that the Council's more advanced members might consider less invasive approaches." "Your concern is noted, human," Zorax replied dismissively. "This Council will proceed with the vote on the Novan resource acquisition proposal." Ilara returned to her position, maintaining perfect diplomatic composure as the Council votes registered overwhelmingly in favor of the Mariox plan. Only Earth and 3 minor species voted against it. As the session concluded, she made her way through the grand corridors of the Council Hall, nodding politely to the few representatives who acknowledged her. "Another exercise in futility," remarked Commander Sato, her security escort, once they reached the privacy of their transport vessel. Ilara placed her palm against the ship's authentication panel. "Security Protocol Omega. Authenticate Vega." The transport's interior shimmered as hidden technology emerged from seemingly ordinary panels. What had appeared to be a basic diplomatic shuttle instantly transformed into a high-security command center, with advanced holographic displays and quantum-encrypted communication systems far beyond what the Council believed humans possessed. "Status update," Ilara commanded, her posture straightening as she shed the carefully maintained facade of deference. A holographic display materialized, showing a three-dimensional stellar map with real-time fleet positions. Commander Sato stepped forward, her own demeanor transforming from subservient aide to military officer. Shadow Fleet maintains full operational readiness, Sato reported. The Mariox began landing operations on Novan 3 6 hours ago. They're moving faster than projected. Preliminary scans indicate they're already setting up quantum drilling platforms near major population centers. Ilara studied the display, her expression hardening. Casualties. Minimal so far, but environmental simulations predict catastrophic atmospheric degradation once drilling begins. The entire southern continent will be uninhabitable within weeks. For 73 years, humanity had hidden its true capabilities from the galaxy. After first contact with Mariox scout ships in 2157, Earth's unified government had made the strategic decision to appear technologically competent but militarily unthreatening. They had presented outdated ships, limited weapons systems, and seemingly primitive drive technology, all while secretly developing revolutionary advances in physics and engineering. Admiral Chen is requesting final authorization, Sato said quietly. The Novan government has formally requested assistance through our covered diplomatic channels. Ilara closed her eyes briefly. 3 generations of preparation, and it comes down to this moment. Her wristband vibrated subtly against her skin. A message scrolled across its surface, visible only to her enhanced optical implants. Phoenix Toro Tokyo authorized. Maintain position. Shadow Fleet activated. It's time, she said, opening her eyes. Transmit Protocol Phoenix to all Earth vessels and installations. Authorization Vega 9 Delta 7. Sato's eyes widened slightly. After all this time, the Council believes we have 27 ships total, none larger than a light cruiser, Ilara said, studying the holographic display as hidden fleet markers appeared throughout the galaxy. They're about to learn that Earth has teeth. On the outskirts of the Novan system, what appeared to be an unremarkable asteroid field suddenly shimmered as phase shift technology deactivated. Where moments before sensors would have detected only space debris, now 15 vessels appeared. Sleek, darkened ships, with none of the ostentatious design elements favored by Council species. At the center of the formation loomed the EDS Nemesis, humanity's first true dreadnought, a vessel housing technology the Council believed wouldn't exist for centuries. Captain Quan stood on the Nemesis's command deck, watching as his crew prepared for humanity's first true military engagement in 7 decades. All ships report ready, Captain, his executive officer announced. Phase shift drives functioning at optimal capacity. Weapons systems online. Quan nodded, his expression solemn. The Mariox have 23 warships in the Novan system. They believe themselves untouchable. He turned to face his bridge crew. Today, we correct that misconception. For 73 years, humanity has watched species like the Mariox exploit and destroy while we pretended to be weak. We've documented every atrocity, identified every responsible party, and prepared our response. He turned back to the main view screen, which showed the unsuspecting Mariox fleet in orbit around Novan 3. Commence Operation Revelation. The Earth ships accelerated toward the Novan system, using propulsion technology that defied what the Council believed possible. Within minutes, they would arrive at a planet where the Mariox were preparing to destroy a civilization. Back in her disguised command center, Ilara prepared for the diplomatic storm that would follow. Open secure channel to Earth Command, she ordered, and prepare our contingency protocols for all diplomatic stations. Once the Nemesis reveals itself, every human in Council space may be at risk. Channel open, Sato reported. Admiral, Ilara addressed the holographic image of Fleet Admiral Helena Chen. Phoenix is active. Shadow Fleet has deployed to Novan 3. Admiral Chen nodded, her weathered face solemn. After 73 years of watching, learning, and pretending to be weak, humanity will finally show the galaxy who we really are. Her expression hardened. The Mariox have enslaved 17 species, and exterminated 4 others while we maintained our cover. That ends today. What are my orders? Ilara asked. Maintain your diplomatic position. Act surprised when necessary, when the Council calls an emergency session. And they will be there to explain our terms. The transmission ended, leaving Ilara contemplating the massive shift about to occur in galactic politics. For generations, humanity had appeared deferential, humble, and weak. In a few hours, that carefully crafted image would be shattered forever. Do you think they'll understand why we deceived them? Sedo asked quietly. Ilara thought of the countless civilizations that had been exploited, the species rendered extinct or enslaved, while the Council's powerful members profited. They'll understand soon enough, she replied. Earth has been polite for 73 years. That time is over. Revealing our teeth. Captain Maya Kwan stood perfectly still on the bridge of the EDS Nemesis, her black uniform bearing no rank insignia or decorations. Unlike the elaborate displays of status favored by species like the Mariocs, Earth's military had long ago learned that true power required no announcement. Phase shift drives disengaged, Captain, reported her navigation officer. We've reached the Novan system. Kwan nodded, studying the main tactical display. The Mariocs fleet hung in orbit around the blue-green world below. 23 warships, each bristling with weapons that most civilizations feared. Their designs were intentionally intimidating, with jagged profiles and exposed weapon arrays meant to inspire terror. Scan the surface, Kwan ordered. The ship's advanced sensors bypassed the Mariocs' jamming fields with ease, revealing the situation on Novan 3. Multiple Mariocs landing craft have deployed ground forces near the largest cities, reported her sensor officer. They're setting up quantum drilling platforms at 7 locations. Environmental analysis shows preliminary atmospheric disruption has already begun. Kwan took a deep breath. For decades, she had trained for this moment. Like all Shadow Fleet officers, she had studied countless similar situations while humanity maintained its mask of technological inferiority. The waiting had been the hardest part, observing, learning, and preparing while innocent species suffered. Disengage stealth fields, she commanded. Full sensor profile. Let them see us. The Nemesis and its 14 escort vessels shimmered into visibility. On the Mariocs warships, alarms immediately began sounding as their sensors detected ships that hadn't been there moments before. What their initial scans identified as simple vessels suddenly registered as something very different. Ships composed of materials their science couldn't identify, powered by energy sources that shouldn't exist. They're scanning us, Captain, reported her communications officer. Their readings show confusion. Open a channel to the Mariocs command vessel, Kwan ordered. All frequencies, all protocols. The main screen flickered to show the Mariocs fleet commander, a massive figure encased in natural armor plating enhanced with technological augmentations. Admiral Gravtak's metallic exoskeleton gleamed with status markings, his faceplates arranged in an expression of surprise that quickly hardened into contempt. This is Captain Maya Kwan of Earth, Kwan broadcast, her voice calm and measured. Your forces will cease operations on Novan 3 immediately and withdraw from this system. Admiral Gravtak's laughter echoed through the communication system. A human vessel? No, several human vessels. How? Unexpected. His voice carried the metallic resonance characteristic of his species. Your arrival is impressively swift, but futile. Perhaps your species has developed better drives than we suspected, but surely even humans understand basic mathematics. Your pitiful ships cannot stand against a Mariocs battle fleet. Kwan remained expressionless. We were being polite, she said simply. That time is ended. She nodded once to her tactical officer. Begin the demonstration. What followed wasn't a battle but a precisely calculated show of force. The Nemesis systems activated in perfect sequence. First, gravity manipulation fields extended outward, creating localized distortions that disrupted the Mariocs targeting systems. Their energy weapons attempted to fire, but the beams curved harmlessly into space. Next, the human vessels deployed targeted quantum disruptors. Technology the Council believed wouldn't exist for centuries. Systems failed across the Mariox fleet as their power cores temporarily destabilized, isolating each vessel and rendering their weapons inert. The final phase used precision kinetic strikes from advanced rail systems. Each shot severed key propulsion components without threatening life support or crew quarters. The Earth vessels moved with impossible speed, appearing beside each Mariox ship long enough to disable it before shifting to the next target. Within 11 minutes, the entire Mariox fleet hung dead in space, disabled but intact, with minimal casualties. Quan opened the channel again. Admiral Gravtak's face showed raw shock, his metallic features frozen in disbelief. This was a demonstration, not an attack, Quan explained calmly. Had we wished to destroy your fleet, we would have done so. Your vessels are disabled, not destroyed. Your crews are unharmed. What are you? The Mariox commander managed to ask, his typical arrogance replaced by confusion. We are exactly what we have always been, Quan replied. Humans who chose peace until peace was no longer an option. Earth relief vessels will arrive shortly to assist the Novan population and mitigate the environmental damage your operations have caused. Your forces will withdraw immediately. Back at the Galactic Council headquarters, emergency sessions had erupted into chaos. The main chamber, normally a model of ordered procedure, had descended into a cacophony of shouted questions and demands. Species that had dismissed humans for decades suddenly found themselves facing an uncomfortable truth. Captain Ilara Vega sat calmly at Earth's humble seat in the upper tier as accusations flew around the chamber. The humans have violated council law, roared the Mariox representative, his metallic body plates clattering with rage. They concealed military technology. They attacked our peaceful resource expedition. The chamber's central display showed the Nemesis demonstration in perfect detail. There was no denying what had happened. The most powerful military fleet in the Mariox Imperium, immobilized in minutes by Earth vessels using technology no one believed humans possessed. The Council Elder, a Solaran whose ancient species valued wisdom above all, raised his hands for silence. The chamber gradually quieted. Captain Vega, the Elder said, his voice resonating through the hall, your species has clearly engaged in systematic deception of this council for 73 years. You have presented yourselves as technologically inferior, while developing capabilities that appear to surpass even our most advanced members. He fixed his luminous eyes on Ilara. Why the deception? Ilara rose from her seat and walked slowly to the central podium. Unlike previous council sessions, no one interrupted her movement. No one dismissed her presence. Every representative watched in intense silence. Would you have welcomed us as equals if you knew our true capabilities? She asked, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. Or would you have tried to destroy us before we could become a threat? The silence that followed was answer enough. Throughout galactic history, advanced civilizations had systematically eliminated potential rivals before they could develop. It was an unspoken practice that everyone recognized but no one acknowledged. Humanity chose to survive, Ilara continued. We studied your histories. We saw how the Mariox eliminated the Tellarites when their quantum technology began to advance too quickly. We witnessed how the Voreti consumed the Ceridian civilization when they developed alternative FTL theories. She gestured to the display showing the disabled Mariox fleet. We observed, we learned, and we prepared. For 73 years, we've watched species like the Mariox dominate and destroy while we maintained our facade. And now, asked the Solaran Elder quietly. Now we offer a choice, Ilara replied. Earth proposes a new galactic compact, one that protects developing worlds and ensures technological benefits are shared, one that enforces consequences for exploitation and genocide. The Mariox representative slammed his armored fist against his console. You threaten us with your hidden fleets. The Imperium will never submit to human demands. Ilara turned to him calmly. We aren't making demands. We're establishing boundaries. The demonstration at Novan 3 was restrained and precise. No Marioch's lives were lost. That was intentional. She faced the full council again. Earth has revealed only a fraction of its capabilities today. We've maintained research outposts beyond council space for decades. We've developed technologies some of you believed impossible. But unlike the Mariochs, we don't seek dominance. We seek balance. What happens to those who refuse your balance? Asked the Voretti delegate, their gelatinous form pulsing with agitation. That will be their choice, Ilara answered. Humanity has been patient for 73 years. We've documented every violation, every atrocity, every exploitation carried out while council members looked away. We won't look away anymore. As the session continued, information streamed to her secured datapad. Reports confirmed that Marioch's forces were withdrawing from Novan space under the watchful eyes of Earth vessels. Relief ships had arrived, bringing advanced environmental restoration technology to repair the damage already done. More importantly, hidden human agents throughout council space reported that 17 subjugated species were already beginning to resist their Marioch's overlords, emboldened by what had happened at Novan 3. For decades, Earth had maintained covert contact with these civilizations, waiting for the right moment. Later, in the privacy of the Earth Embassy, Commander Sato joined Ilara at the window overlooking the council capital. The Solaran and 4 other major species have expressed support for the compact, Sato reported. The Mariochs are isolated diplomatically for the first time in centuries. Ilara nodded, watching the alien city's lights come on as night fell. And the Shadow Fleet. Admiral Chen reports full deployment throughout critical sectors. The other ships remain hidden. The Council still doesn't know our true numbers. Good, Ilara replied. Some secrets should remain secrets, at least for now. Sato studied her commanding officer's profile. Do you think they understand why we did it? Why we pretended for so long? Ilara thought about the message already spreading across the galaxy, that the humans, dismissed as insignificant for generations, had revealed themselves as perhaps the most advanced species in known space, that the quiet, deferential representatives who had occupied the humblest positions in the council chamber had been watching, judging, and preparing all along. They're beginning to understand, she replied. For 73 years, Earth has been polite while monsters rule the stars. She turned from the window, her expression resolute. That time is over. The galaxy will learn that humanity's patience should never be mistaken for weakness. We were just being polite.